Call this meeting to order. Give us an invitation.
Shall we pray? Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for your blessings that you bestow upon us today, for your watchful care, for your mercy, for your grace. God, we know that nothing that happens in our lives catches you off guard, but rather you have the answer to all of our problems. So God, tonight we ask for your wisdom and direction to lead the city forward to the situation. And we ask, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Bernard.
Here.
Alderman Phillips.
Here.
Alderman Newberry.
Here.
Alderman Crockett.
Here.
Alderman Fair.
Here.
Alderman Benjamin. Here. Alderman Walker. Here. City Administrator Asbury.
Here.
City Attorney Rohr.
Here.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.
We just think that we're under a boil order.
Well, I think you all know that we're under a boil order at the moment. I'm going to have Steve kind of tell you the timeline of what happened and where we got to this point. So, Steve, go for it.
As everybody knows, we was put on the boil order today by Missouri Department of DNR. I pulled a routine water sample on May 19th. On May 20th, they called back to me and said we had a total chloroform positive sample, which is common. Could be numbers. So what we do is a repeat sample. So what I normally do is I flush the system around the area that I get a bad sample on. So I did that and then repeated this, for this week actually. And today they called me and with unfortunately, the E. coli sample popped up at one of our sampling sites. So that triggered with the TC, that triggered a boil order. So then measures to fix this, we're gonna have to chlorinate up to 2% chlorination. We're not going up to 5% like we did last time. We're not gonna shock the whole system like we did last time. So we're gonna go to a 2% to help correct the problem, fix the problem out there right now.
Are we talking temporary or future?
DNR saying we're going to permanent chlorination now, which they're well, not all the paperwork and documentation on it.
I think it's time. I don't really want it, but do we have a choice?
We don't know at this point. We don't have any documentation yet that we have to or don't have to do it yet. We're waiting on that.
So in the meantime, can we chlorinate temporarily to get it passed, and then we're gonna look into future chlorination?
Yeah, so part of the issue with this is if we keep having it, we've got to do something different. This is the second time in 6 months. DNR may make us do something now. My concern is that we're just putting a Band-Aid on it though. It's getting in somehow, and how is that happening? Even if we chlorinate, there's probably still some way that it's getting in there, right, Steve? I mean, it's not just in the
Could be
system.
a number of different things right now. We did full samples at the wells. Our sources are all good. They all come back
And
ready.
they had been, right?
Yeah.
We've never had a problem at the wells, so our water source is fine. It's somewhere else in the system
It's
that
in
we're
the
having
collection.
issues.
It's coming from the collection. Now, this is a whole separate incident from the other. I'm not saying it could be, we did go ahead and grab samples again today and send them to a lab just to ease our minds a little bit. But it's, when you're dealing with a collection system, I'm actually relying on multiple places throughout the town for water samples. So each month is a different 5 places. So when I go there, I can't control what they've done inside their house or business or whatever. So when I'm pulling that sample, there could be a number of things that can cause us to have a TC or an E. coli. Restaurants and other stuff are higher because they're dealing with food. But, I bleach it, I try to clean it as best I can. And most of the time, I give you guys a printout of the last 5 years. We've done really well for a long, long time. Right now, it's just a bad time. I can't control it. It's out of my control, but we can't move forward with the way to fix it. Now, chlorine will fix the issue because chlorine kills bacteria.
So our wells and our lines are clean.
The wells are clean, it's in our lines, it's not in ours, yes, because that's where we're pulling samples, so they would tell you it's in the distribution system. We don't know where. We know it's isolated incident again on Mill Street at this time, but it's not,
So can we sample around that location?
yes. But we still, it doesn't, DNR requires us to,
Doesn't matter, they've said it, we gotta do it.
yes, we have to.
Right.
And that's why we're gonna start procedures tomorrow. Missouri Rural Water's coming in to help. We already have some pumps. I did give you guys brochures on how much money I'm getting ready to spend on some more pumps, to make sure all the pumps are at the wells. So that way you guys are aware exactly what we're doing. We're gonna buy 2 new test machines. We borrowed them before, but I'd rather have us our own because it's getting too long. We're gonna have to have it.
So the test machines, do you mean machines that constantly test?
No, it's handheld machines that we go out and test chlorine residual.
Okay, so one of the things, Steve, that I talked with DNR a little bit about today is if we have to go full-time, we have to have someone test every day.
Correct, 5 days a week. Yeah, not every day.
No, I said every day, holidays and
Yeah,
weekends.
I talked to DNR too, and it's in the rules that you only do it 5 days a week. I talked to Dawson, and
That's not what he said.
that's what he told me, and I know, I mean, if that's the case, then we'll be working weekends, but, Missouri Rural Water will tell you it only has to be done 5 days a week.
Where I was going with that is there are towns around us that have something that tests constantly for it. Osage Beach is one that I know has it, cause he told me that Osage Beach had it, so they don't have to have someone on the call every
Right.
day.
Oh, yeah, you can, we're gonna have to go with a new data system for our wells, which will tell us our chlorine levels and all that information. So it will automatically, depending on what type you get, will feed to your computer. So I mean, I can have it set up to City Hall, I can have.
Do we have to have one of those testers at every well that we have?
Mhm.
So if we go the automatic meter route, and if we're talking to somewhere between $2,000 and $10,000 a piece, we're talking somewhere between
Got 5 wells, 4 wells. So,
440,000 just for the testing.
now you still have to have a handheld like I'm all, the one you purchase, because you're gonna have to check your levels out in this.
In the ends.
Yep.
Well, DNR requires sampling the same as we do right now if we chlorinate.
Mhm. Yeah, only thing difference on it, I'll be writing down chlorine residual in my food plan. That'll be the only difference.
We'll have an extra test.
Yeah. Just one more step. It's, all our licenses are covered by it, so we're good to go.
What about water lines, our water lines handle constant chlorination?
It's gonna be very hard on our iron lines, yes. It will be.
What do we need to do to prep for those, compared to replace?
Well, we'll just have to start replacing.
How many iron lines do we have?
About 80%.
80% of the time is iron.
Cast iron or some type of iron.
How much is it gonna cost?
How much is it gonna cost?
The people,
That would have to be done on a rate study and what everybody has to do in the long run to figure out what we're gonna have to do to replace the line.
so we just make sure figures add up.
Yeah, cause every line of town's there, we dug up, because I live on Jim Street, this is my filter after 7 days. 7 days, I've got a $10,000 system in my house, so I can at least try to drink water, and I can't, here's my filter,
You have,
7 days.
you have plastic line, but it's.
No, I got brand new lines, I put them in,
Yeah,
from my house to the street is plastic, but what's in the street is steel, and that's where your issue is. That's
So,
probably.
okay, hang on,
where
we're gonna give
from
everyone
also.
a chance to talk, and we'll need your name here in a minute whenever
Well,
we get
I
ready.
just add on to what's going on here.
I get it, hang tight, give us a little bit, let us kind of get through our piece here, and then we'll let you, everyone get a little bit to talk here. What else do you wanna know from Steve, going forward?
How long will it take to chlorinate the food?
Well, right now, our procedures are gonna start, hopefully getting everything set up tomorrow. I hope to maybe have a good enough chlorine residual to actually test on Sunday. Pull a sample on Sunday and Monday, and that way we'll have 2 consecutive days of sampling. And if they both come back good, then we can probably let it pull one, but I have to get a chlorine residual. So I'm giving myself a little time, and plus the lab's not open on the weekend. But I can pull a sample and hold it for up to 24 hours. So if I pull it on Sunday and pull another one on Monday, I can turn them both in Monday evening. And hopefully by Tuesday, get some results.
Best case scenario, Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, best case, that's my goal, and try to get this off the board and get us back moving in the right direction.
And sir, do you think that the residual issue that we had 2 months ago is still faltering through their system?
No, I mean, we flushed the system really hard from the chlorinated. I mean, we had to flush a lot, but we're not going up as near as high as we was last time. So you won't see us out in place, we're going a lot higher, which stirs up the system, which causes you more red water. So we're on trying to keep from doing a lot of that, because flush hydrants, anything we're doing like leaks or anything out stirs the system.
Right. Yeah, so it, oh, go ahead.
Excuse
No,
me,
you go.
are you in contact with other communities and other water supervisors discussing how small towns are being affected by this particular phenomenon?
We take a lot of classes and courses, so we talk to them all the time now, and I'm more familiar with Lake Ozark, you know, that's one of the people I know. We talk throughout, I mean, daily, and we,
But how often are other communities having similar experiences?
quite a bit, I mean, I don't pay a lot of attention to a lot of them.
I'm not gonna hold you to this.
I know, I'm just saying, I don't question them, because they're, you know, they're the same boat as I am, you know, they got things to deal with, so I don't really call them unless they need assistance, you know, we got, you know, like if I need something, I'll call Osage Beach or Lake Ozark, it's the same scenario. But there's one, Osage Beach, you know, we coordinate, a lot of towns coordinate, that's who I talk to get for sales. I borrow our equipment from each town to help us out last time.
So Pat, we were told that we're unique. Most of the places that have this are at the well, and we're not at the well. Ours is in the distribution system. So we're different from most of those other places that have problems. Only there's in the well, which is maybe more concerning or less concerning, I guess, depending on how you look at it. Our water source is great, but somewhere stuff is getting in it. And it's not in just one place recently, it's been all over the place.
It's our second pull form, you know, since now TC is a whole different thing, so pull form. I mean, it can be dirt, rust, it can be anything, except for very sensitive things, so.
Okay, so we just flushed hydrants. Could that have stirred something up?
Normally that calls you TC center,
Okay.
not code form. Only time you would see more like code form was like saying like install new lines, you know, you had something that got into your line, it calls that. But it could be something on somebody's hands and you pull a sample. I mean, it's been known to be on actually in the sampling log. I mean, I tried multiple different things to, you know, clean things, and this time it just didn't happen.
So there are a couple other things DNR told me that it could possibly be that our water table is raised up enough to where the water is not as cold when it comes out of there, so when it's going through with the TC in it, that it could possibly be something could be happening at that point.
Yes, and that's one reason I sampled out the wells, just to make sure, because a lot of times when you see E. coli, a lot of times you'll see them drain in the towers, because there's vents and screens that birds can break into, and that's usually where you see that. But we've tested our wells, probably more this year than last year than we have in all the years I've been here. And our wells all keep coming back good, which is a good thing. We know the source is good, it's just we have to figure out the other one.
Okay, what other questions do we have?
I don't have a question, but I did talk to DNR also,
Okay,
and,
good.
you know, it is a great thing that it's not our wells, because that is a bigger lift and big expense.
Yeah.
My question, and not to put Chris on the spot, but what is this, like, I asked for regulations when they sent some, but I think that is there a difference between if it's not at the source versus if it's in the what constitutes their authority to do this or that based on where it is and what it is. The other piece of that I would say is, that looks like and what the requirements for that look like. And I'm sure it's somewhere in these regs, but I haven't gotten through all 61 pages yet.
I just.
So you guys know, she's talking about permanent coordination, is what she's asking about right now, questions for permanent coordination.
There is wait, extension for that, we did ask about that.
I have a question.
Hang on a second.
Okay.
So that was.
I was just gonna say, so I learned about this problem like at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
So did we.
Generally speaking, with most of these regulations, there are mechanisms to get extensions. I would certainly assume that's correct in this situation, but it sounds like the public works director is looking at it a little more. So I would certainly look into this for the city, talk to DNR and figure out and help give Mandy assistance as she requests or needs it, to figure out the best direction forward.
I think for myself, I would like to be more educated on what permanent coordination looks like, what it costs, what are the downfalls, what are the upsides. And I don't particularly like being forced into something quickly, and that's really, I mean, I'm a rule follower, but I like to have the information in front of me to see what it actually requires and why. So that's my ask at some point.
Okay.
Before we make a decision, I would like to make a very educated decision.
Certainly.
I think if this is something that we were going to do without being forced, that it would be a, it would be a gradual process, 1, 2, 3 year process. And so this is, financially, it's really not feasible to do it immediately, but, if we have to, we'll find a way. But at the same time, if it's something that can be done over the course of months, then that would be much better.
And that's where I was too, so.
Is
I
this
had a
something?
question earlier, because we got your family. What was the ratio of the E. coli?
It's in the letter. It's,
Three. Yeah. I mean, the sample was taken on May 19th.
That was the first,
That was the first one, right?
the sample that was taken for E. coli was taken yesterday, and we got the results of that.
it doesn't say on this, but we can try to get that for you.
So you don't have the ratio?
This time.
It wasn't in the letter that came.
Okay.
Yeah, DNR sent us the letter with that, but it's,
I was just curious
yeah,
on that.
Okay, so we probably at our next board meeting are gonna have to make some sort of decision on how we go forward. So for us, we want you all, your all's input, questions you might have that we're not thinking of. One thing I think the worst thing we can do is do something and it'd be the wrong thing, and you guys out there are thinking something completely different. That makes sense. So I think we're ready to open up the public. Please try to keep it to a few minutes because we've got a lot of people here. But I'd love to hear questions, concerns, thoughts. And please, there's a sign-up sheet there if you want to either write your name down or you can tell us your name.
My name's Gary Dustin, I live on Jim Street, so this is my water field. And, you're wondering about the E. coli such getting in the pipes. Chances are, with the galvanized pipes that have been there and the age of them, most of them are failing. I would assume that our beloved federal government would have programs of some sort that would help small municipalities like this try to get a jump on this and try to repair it and fix it. I know the Obama administration, he handed out money in small town that
We
needed.
tried, sir. We didn't get it. We tried for
You
the
tried,
country.
they did not give it to you?
Yeah, we tried to get Countryside Estates. It was shovel ready. We sent it to them more than once for COVID money. We didn't get it.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, because that's not what they say that they do, so. But anyway, that was just what I would have to say is, I think that the trouble is with the water, it's just all the old galvanized pipes that are in the street, and the age of them, everything's old in this town, and it's
Agreed.
time to bite the bullet and start replacing it, but, as it stands, this water really isn't suitable for anybody, other than maybe putting out a fire.
So where you live in, Steve, you want to speak to where he lives with the clay pocket in
Actually-
Checker Park?
Yes, Checkerboard tire, which is our newest tire, which was drilled in the 80s. It does produce red water. Now, it's not iron like you're thinking, it's actually clay.
Clay,
clay, if there's a clay pocket, when the water level, or pumping it down, it drops over and it produces that red water that you're getting. It's higher in that area. Sarah Walker there can testify, because she lives over there on Miller Street. So we try not to run that all the time to try to keep the amount of red water down. We've actually done studies on it, we've had Glen Well drilling in, we've done all kinds of different, sent it off to different labs to make sure it's safe. It's safe, it's just not very desirable looking.
Yes, cause I got black stains in my toilet, so I got constantly, and I got water softener, and I
And
still have to go.
we've actually had Glen Well drilling there. I did talk to DNR about what's the next step? Can we lower the casing? Can we drop it down lower? There's a bunch of questions that we're still waiting for answers for. I talked to Miko, he's kind of researching it, but now we're kind of have to shift gears to another point. But we have discussed this multiple times throughout the years on what we need to do, because it's a heavy producing well on water lines.
Yes, yeah.
And if you first kick it on, you will see nothing but clear water. After we run it for a long period of time, that's when you start getting your clay,
Yeah, 'cause
which
this goes
does
back
not
up
help
and
with the
stuff.
iron lines down below you. Now, if you go up on Haynes, it's a 10-inch plastic, but you're down lower, so you're part of.
Yeah, where I live, I do believe that intersection there at Jim Street and Mill Street is probably the lowest part in Elton.
Yes, and you catch the debris.
So everything's running down.
Yes. But unfortunately, like I said, you're a block over, you would have plastic.
Yeah.
You know, Sarah has the same problem, she's right in between the plastic and the iron too. So, unfortunately, there is iron, we have quite a bit of iron still in this town, and that's why we noticed, we put out a lot of notices when Randy's flushing hydrants for the fire department and all, because we stir it up, and anytime you flush the line, we call it scoring. Okay, when they're running the water really fast through there, it breaks up that material and makes it look really red and nasty looking. So we do that twice a year to help try to clean up the system, but again, you got
Would we
iron.
be better off at the house when that happens, just to turn the faucet on and let it run for 15-20 minutes, just try to get whatever.
I've let it run for a few minutes and that would help you some, yes.
Oh, okay, all right.
It would help save your filter's life a lot.
Yeah, cause this right here, $9 a watt, it gets expensive.
Yeah, I wouldn't run it that long, because, your water bill's gonna go up, but I would run it for a few minutes.
Okay, well, thank you for hearing me.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Hey, quick question.
Okay.
Following up with that, I know we talked about water drains and working towards some kind of filtering for water lines, but we have a challenge applying for those drains because of the price of what we charge for our water bills, right? Are we still, I know we raised it a little bit, are we still having the same issue with that?
When is our sewer law, our sewer bond gone?
Maybe you could clarify this for the audience.
Yeah,
what
so
he's talking about.
some of the grants that are out there, you have to have a percentage of median household income before you can apply for the grants. We don't qualify right now because we don't charge enough for water. I've had this thought for years, so I've been out there for a long time. I think we can flip it to where right now we're charging more for sewer than we are for water, and I think we can maybe flip those bills where the consumer won't see any difference on their water bill or sewer bill, and trash, all three of those. You'll see no difference, but we'll actually charge more for water than what we are for sewer. So that will open up some DNR stuff, but I can't remember when's the year for that. Is it
I have to
2027?
look it up, I think that's pretty close to
I
it.
think it's 2027, so we're a year away from being able to do that, and then that opens up a whole world of stuff for us without really raising rates.
Well, I think people need to understand, cause if they don't understand how the bill works, then that might sound, different to them. But when you pay your water bill, it's your water, sewer, and your trash bill. And right now, your water bill is around 20-something, that's right, 20, yeah. And then the sewer part of that bill is closer to 40-something. And so, right now, we've had to do a lot of work on the wastewater treatment plan and things like that. And so the wastewater sewer portion of that bill is quite a bit higher than the water portion of that bill. And then the trash is, the trash is, less than that, but, we have portions of that go towards your trash administration fees, your trash barrels and things like that. And so if we were to flip those to where your water bill would be more than what your sewer bill would be, we're sitting pretty good right now with the wastewater treatment plan and things like that. And so we don't need the money that we did, 5 or 10 years ago to be able to pay for the things that we do out there. But as everyone knows, we have done some things for water. We passed a bond issue that we're using to replace a lot of the lines in town as quickly as we can. But obviously we have to pay for those, and in order to not have to continue to increase people's bills as much as we don't want to do, flip-flopping those would make it easier to be able to do that. So I hope that that clears that up just a little bit, makes it understandable. Your bill won't necessarily change. I mean, yes, the cost of construction is going up across the board, everybody knows that. You know, there's not a lot that we can do anymore without, you know, increases in prices. And so yes, we will have to increase bills occasionally. You know, we don't like to do that, but it has to be done. But in order to be able to do what we have to do, if we can flip the water and the sewer, that will enable us to do it faster, and without having to increase the bill.
What's really sad is that had it been done earlier, it wouldn't cost as much as it's gonna cost now.
Had what been done earlier?
The line,
We're not even talking about the line.
we're even talking about the water and the sewer lines. We've lived here for over 26 years. Our water, we brag about the water, how good it was. Ever since they started digging and doing different things, that's when the problem started. So,
Everyone here.
yeah, but we live on Mill Street, so we are a little concerned. You know,
We
it's
didn't
like
have a
everyone else
massive
is.
problem until they came in and started running water and sewer lines.
Yeah,
That's going 2-3 months ago, been ridiculous.
and I think
I
they
can't
were doing
speak
too
for
much.
anyone, but I can speak for mine.
I think they were doing way too much at the same time.
I don't know what they were doing, it's not my fault.
But, that's the reason why I was asking about the ratio.
Let's try to get it through.
Yeah, that would be great.
Nothing there.
Other questions, concerns?
All kinds of concerns, no other questions.
Yeah, so, Steve, I don't know if you can explain to people, because I've noticed on social media, the big thing is why are we just not finding out today when you took the test on the 19th? When people are screaming like, they're mad, why didn't they tell us earlier? You might wanna kind of explain that a little better.
Well, when I take a regular water test, I don't, post it unless it's harmful. TC samples are very common, so they're not harmful. I mean, it can be rust, dirt, or anything. I mean, DNR, regulates us on what we need to notify on and what we don't. So when we got the E. coli is when they notified us immediately, and that's when I went to Mandy. We didn't find this out till 2 o'clock,
No, I understand
So,
that.
anytime there's a danger of any kind, I would be concerned about it. But when it's a TC, a lot of times TC can be a number, as I said, more than likely, 9 times out of 10, it's dirt, rust, or something that we've done. A lot of times when I pull samples, I can't pull samples if we have like a water main break, or if we out flushing hydrants, because it stirs the system up. There's always something in the water line, from old lines, it builds up stuff. So, if there was a concern, we would have done published it.
And I assume that, but if you guys have been following social media, which is crazy,
Right.
y'all screaming while
Right.
I mean, I think what you're asking is this, we did not find out there was an E. coli
Till 2 o'clock.
till 2 o'clock today. And we immediately shared the information and posted the boil order, so on May 20th, it was a routine sample, and we followed regulation, I'm assuming, and sent it another sample in 12 days or 14 days or whatever the date is.
Yeah, 14
And the
days.
second per regulation, and so we did not know the sample was E. coli till today, and then we shared it out,
Right, but I
so.
think
there's
I think what the people heard though is there was a positive test on the 20th.
Absolutely,
And
Right.
they didn't realize it's two different.
It's two different things.
you are
Yes,
correct.
that's what I'm trying to justify.
Absolutely.
That was a good point.
That's very good.
There's a lot of Facebook warriors that know everything that's going on and want to comment
Oh, I
on
know.
it, and they don't have the
It's all
facts.
Steve's fault, I know that.
You blame me.
Yeah, no, but
That's a
I-
very valid point.
Okay.
So number 2 is,
I know.
for the residents, last time we had it, I know the fire department had water to give out. Are we close to having something closed quickly for the residents?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we will get, when we call and get that, we can get it fairly quickly. We get in contact with, grocery stores here, last time Sam's Club, the city helped us out a ton with that. And then we had another distributor that was able to do that, and so, that's
I haven't explored that option. I haven't, I mean, it's just another world that's too
Well, I
o'clock.
can only imagine, I mean, I'm sure you guys are like, no, not really again, so.
It's not something that we have scheduled, but it's definitely something that is,
I'm sure that will happen.
yeah.
Need volunteer.
I'm sorry?
Need volunteer.
Normally the fire department has it under control. Yeah. And it's got-
What we
As
have,
soon as when, if somebody, if somebody brings 100 cases tomorrow, we'll do that.
I've actually had guys already asking, so.
yeah, no, it's,
I'm
it'll
not worried about
definitely
Do you have
happen.
people volunteering to bring somebody already, or no?
I'll get with the city handles most of that stuff.
I'll get it. Okay. And the last thing is the daycares. We only have, I don't know how many daycares in town. Is there somebody that can make sure that daycares are aware of what's going on? Because their hands are so full. The only reason I'm saying that, you can see, I have my young ones here, right? And the last time this happened, a lot of people got sick in a certain daycare. And they wanted to blame it on this, but you know what, as the kids would jump up to the water fountain and take a drink, maybe they need to take precautions, like you said, the fire department going, hey, you need to put something over that, because he actually got sick, he got diarrhea. I'm not saying it was that, but it just happened to be at the same time, you're seeing that on social media too right now, that everybody's saying, oh, it's through the city, because it's the city's fault, but I'm just saying, because there are so many kids in that situation, and we have some that really probably don't understand the effects of that.
Does the health department go there?
Yeah, so, as soon as I heard today, I was on the phone with Mike Herbert with the Mother County Health Department. We were discussing, you know, they reach out to the restaurants, they reach out to the daycares, to the nursing homes and places like that. And so they work directly with those, places, and we'll do whatever we can. Those types of businesses, they're gonna work directly with the health department to ensure that they're doing everything they can to make everything safe for the people that use their businesses.
Those are my questions.
Just to make it clear where everybody understands, when we had the last E. coli, we tested immediately after that. And we tested multiple times for quite a long time. Everybody knows how long before that. We never got another E. coli sample. Now, it was TC's keeping us on the board, but it was not E. coli. So we definitely on top of it.
Steve, you should say too, the first samples that you got back, they tested for E. coli there as well, and there was no E. coli the first time when we got the TC.
No.
So,
When I repeated, is when I got the E. coli. So that's why I'm saying.
Steve, I understand that, but the people out there.
yeah, that's why I think you need to say it. Is that it wasn't
Guys,
there.
let's clarify the
Right.
reason for the.
When I took the sample on the 20th, what you're talking about,
Yeah.
there was no E. coli
Right.
present at all. It was a TC sample.
Right.
It was not E. coli.
Yeah.
So, and that's what through.
Is there anything we need to be cautious of rinsing dishes or residue after the fact? I mean, if you're not boiling the water?
You're supposed to put a little bleach in your rinse water, but
So that was my suggestion, was, can you put out a flyer that says this is when we need to boil, and we don't need to boil? Yeah.
We've got these at the end that will, anyone that wants to come and grab them. It's got the best practices.
We try to post that as much as possible. We also, we put out a post earlier just asking for people who would be willing to volunteer. Last time we had a lot of people that stepped up and said, yes, I would be more than happy to go and help deliver information. And so we have flyers available at City Hall for people to come and pick up. We'll make you as many copies as you want. If you want to deliver to 500 houses, then by golly, we'll give you 500 copies.
No, I do think the media that you guys put out, and plus all the other media, was much better.
Was it better? I mean,
I
that's
think
a
so.
question for everyone. Was
I
it
think so.
better? Yes, better.
Thank you.
Did anyone hear the loudspeaker?
Yes.
Yes?
I did.
Could you understand it?
I was outside.
Yes, you could?
Yeah.
Okay,
I was
good.
outside, so.
Okay, well, it makes me feel a little better because sometimes sounds like
I was outside, yeah.
Other questions, concerns?
I have a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you have a boil order, is it always the whole town, or is it's not just certain areas?
So we have no control over it. A boil order is actually done by DNR, and the two that we've had that I know of have been the whole town. Have we had any before that?
The reason we have to do the whole town is our lines, most our lines are connected, so we can't isolate the one to the other. So that's the reason why the whole town goes on. Unfortunately, way over here.
Good question. Other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So the last time this happened, we had like 80 water line breaks in the city where it had been cut and drilled. How many have we had since then?
I have to look at the numbers, but nowhere near
You're
what
talking
it
about
was.
just hit or water line?
Hit, leaks, everything.
Yes,
There's this new crew doing that now.
Yes.
And how many have they had since?
They've had 4 since they started.
In how long?
They've had 4 and they've all been small.
They do 4
small.
one day before.
So it's probably not that doing it then?
The boring companies we have in there right now, I would say have nothing to do with this.
Okay.
They've been.
Because last time, I mean, we had like 80 when they reported
I
it.
understand there was a lot last time, but the crew that Cameron's got in here right now is doing an awesome job. They work with us every day, so.
Okay.
Didn't we have some sewer breaks too?
Yes.
Could that have caused any of this?
Sewer should not be connected to the water whatsoever, so.
I know they shouldn't.
Hope it's not.
Maybe they're close.
I mean, anything's possible, but I wouldn't lean towards that.
I mean, my son's house gets sewer in the basement.
Right.
So
Anytime.
that's gotta go someplace.
Well, correct, and a lot of, that's a different subject, a lot of times your foundation drains are hooked to the sanitary sewer, which they shouldn't be, because if the sewer gets infiltration, which is iodine, it backs up, and it backs up in your basement. And that's a big no-no, that's why we're asking everybody to put sump pumps in, to try to have that. Whole different animal there.
Oh, I have one more question, Steve.
What's that?
So do we have an estimate on what it's gonna cost if we have to chlorinate our water?
No.
What are we looking at?
I don't have any hard numbers for you, just to the fact it depends on how we have to line this up, because, I mean, there's a number of different scenarios here. You know, I'll use 2 for example, real quick, like Industrial Park, our well is inside our tower.
Mm-hmm.
You know, chlorine, you know, is hard on metal, so we'd have to separate it out, so I wouldn't know the total cost of all that, because you'd want your chlorine machine out of your tower, plus for ventilation and everything else.
But I mean, are we talking hundreds of thousands, or what are we talking?
I can't answer that, you know, honestly, because I know it will be very expensive. I can't give you a true number. I mean, Fire Station 2, you know, that well would have to be completely updated. You know, we have a 500,000 gallon storage tank. We manually run it every day. I mean, it would have to go on a data system. I mean, that would cost you several hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on what type you get. And you would have to want to update that well. I mean, I've already mentioned that it's in our report. They would like to see it updated, and I've got kind of numbers on it. But you know, that's $800,000 or $900,000 just to update a well. But I can't tell you. It depends on exactly what we end up having to do in each step. So I mean, I can't give you a true number right now.
And how much room do we have on our water bond?
We have about, 9 million in our water bond, because it's 15 million and we're at 4.5.
So Steve, is it the wells though, or is it the lines? What really needs to be replaced, the lines or the wells?
Well, the lines need updated. I was just discussing like on the wells, like Ron was asking me. There's gonna be different phases in this, and we don't know where it's phase, you know, where we're gonna have to start or finish it right at this moment. We have so many unknowns right now, we gotta get to each step. I'm just saying, if we had to go in there and start replacing the lines, which we already know that, you know, we're gonna have to do it in sections. We just can't go all in and do it. If you mention the wells, most of our wells, you know, we know the well water's good. It's just a matter of setting them up for proper chlorination and proper procedures. We've never chlorinated, so our wells are not set up for that. So each one's gonna have a different price tag. So I can't really give you a number because I don't know exactly what we're gonna have to do for each one. I just mentioned like industrial because it's inside the tank. We know we don't want it inside the tank, so we're gonna have to proper ventilation and everything else. So, you know, but it's a big enough well, it produces a lot of water. It's one of our larger wells, so none of that will have to be, you don't have to drill a new well or anything like that. You'll just have to do some more replumbing. So each one will be different. Brand new pumps directly into the system. There's not even a tower. So it will be more of a simpler system to permanently chlorinate if that's what we end up doing with everything.
So I would agree with you. This is my Band-Aid thing. We can throw chlorine in it all day long, and we're just Band-Aiding it, and something's still getting in there somewhere. If DNR will let us go fix lines, that may be the better option, because then whatever's getting in won't get in anymore. Because, and I agree with you. That's the way I would like to go, but I don't. they may force us to coordinate it.
So as we look to repair our streets, do you think about the line before we?
That's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
You know, we're actually, every street we're trying to do, we're getting a roll call and replacing the water mains too.
Good.
And if we're doing a street, we look to see if the sewer needs replaced, water needs replaced, and we go from there.
Yeah, we've got to look into that a little more comprehensive, because we would put down new pavement and cut it the next.
Well, last meeting we talked about drilling the new lines with the water lines at the same time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we're getting a little better at that.
Is it public record in your office budget? So we can actually, not saying you guys aren't trustworthy, but we can actually make sure they.
See the budget?
Sure.
Yeah, you can have the budget, you can have the whole budget. Anytime.
I have no
I
problem.
think they're audited every once in a while.
But we'll
I
get it.
have no problem, ma'am. I've been through chapter 3.
No, you're good. If you want it, we'll give it to you at any time.
No problem.
And ask questions about it, because it's,
I definitely will.
thick.
I have a question, it ain't got to do with the water. Is the shelter gonna go back up in the park?
You
The one that
just put it out there.
We have a bid opening on the labor for that on the 4th of, and so once that is done and approved, then we'll move forward.
Now, I was
What do
just
you
curious
think
about.
happened? When?
Other questions, concerns?
I have one other question, Dan. So, we have $4 million on the water bond that we've spent, but we're spending how much to do countryside pave, curb and gutter?
That includes everything we're doing in Countryside.
That includes it, the
and
$4 million?
And the Court Street, I think we're gonna have enough to include the Court Street water main replacements on that as well.
And that's all gonna be borrowed against the water bond?
Yes, that is all inclusive for what we have on the budget for this year and next, as of right now.
Okay. So if you have to replace a bunch of lines, we have the money,
We have.
but it's gonna be a huge payment.
But we have a good starting point.
We have the capability to borrow it.
You have the capability, but then water bills are gonna double.
Well, so where we're at now, to answer your question, Jerome, is I hope not, because, the thought is at some point we can start looking for some grants for this, but we've got to flip-flop the other two, and that happens, I think it's in 2027, don't hold me to that. But as soon as that happens, we can flip-flop what we do water and sewer, and then we can apply for those grants. And some of those grants are pretty good money, going after, and you know, I've been
Yeah.
there before. So hopefully at that point, we can go out, we can do 2 to 3 times as much as what we were doing.
Cause this is a problem that's not going away.
No.
No matter what we do, until we replace these iron lines, it's not going away.
And sewer's the same way.
Absolutely.
We've got a lot of sewer stuff too that we're still
And,
working on.
I mean, it's been an issue, and we're not the only town that has this problem.
And it's only gonna get more expensive.
And it's just gonna get more expensive, that's exactly right.
Yep.
So, I mean,
But-
at some point, we gotta realize, we're gonna have to pay for it, right?
That's right.
People gotta realize, it. You want better water, you want better systems, we're gonna have to pay for it. I mean, people are gonna bitch and moan and groan, but I mean, if the water bill's gotta go up $5 a person, I don't know what the number is that you guys gotta calculate. I mean, for $5 a month, to have better water and not have to deal with this, I'm sorry.
It's worth it.
On the last 4 years, the water portion of the bill has gone up at about $8 total.
Yeah.
a month.
So that's
And so
$2
compared to
a year.
everything else that we're paying for, it's actually not that much.
Well, the problem was we went 10 years that we kept it so low that the water got behind.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
$7 when I started.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I'm sorry, what?
On the water.
Meters is about 4,300.
So, my question.
I'm sorry, 2,300.
Right, I'm terribly sorry, sir. How many people, have we had a census and how long? I mean, because since I've lived here, it's always been like 4,000 something.
Censuses are done every 10 years.
Every 10 years?
Last one was done in 2020.
And we actually went down. We got smaller.
But we're not anymore.
No.
I made that argument for a long time.
It's not true.
4416, that's what's on our, city limit signs.
And we probably have like 8,000.
Mm.
No.
I see a lot of people in this town that I haven't seen.
I mean, there's no doubt that we've seen growth, but double is.
You would see it in the water meters.
Steve, do you want to speak to any of the any of this stuff? Is this what it's gonna cost to do this one?
The letter I handed out there is, the first one is from Fort Maine here. That is,
Your testers.
that's the tester.
So testers are about $1,500, just so you guys
That's
know.
two of them, I believe. There should be two. It's two.
Two, yep, okay.
This is Hawkins, this is where we get our chlorine from and our pumps. This is what we ordered last time, basically I'm gonna order it again. That way we're not borrowing equipment from all the other cities, because you never know when they're gonna need it. So I'd like to purchase this again, and that way we have all the equipment that we need.
That's pumps as well?
Yeah, that's pumps as well.
So that's 2,000.
Well, it's gonna be a little more expensive because we're buying 3 pumps instead of 2. So we're gonna have
much for the pumps?
The 4,000.
685. Right. Is that right, Steve? That top one's a pump, right?
Is the total invoice one pump is all of the things
Oh,
that go
yes,
with it, so
yes.
we need to multiply this 2852 by 3.
No, that's for
No,
two pumps.
no, that's for the 2 pumps total.
As
But
above and beyond that.
when you highlight it, it breaks it
So it's gonna be about $4,000 for the pumps.
Yeah, for all 3 more pumps. And that will give you pumps, it'll probably be a little less than that, but I would say 4,000 would be a good number. But that will replace and give us new pumps at all of our wells, and that way we're not borrowing equipment from other cities. Because we never know when they're gonna need their stuff, you know? And this way, depending on which way we go, with permanent chlorination, we're gonna be using those pumps all the time anyway. So,
We can approve that, right? That we can approve ordering this stuff.
Under 5,000, right?
well, I just wanted you to be aware of it.
Okay, gotcha. So I think we need to approve this right now, that he can go out and get this stuff, because it's not gonna be in our budget somewhere, Nate's gonna have to find it.
So I make a motion that we approve these items as CPs to go ahead and start.
All in favor? All in favor?
I need insult.
Yeah, I mean, you need to get this going.
Yeah.
Okay, what else have we missed? Yes.
I have just a couple of comments. Number one, Jackie Wood, registered lobbyist for the state of Missouri, political consultant. So, a little bit of background here. First of all, I want to say thank you, because you all are a thankless job. And, I came over tonight because of some of the comments that I was seeing on Facebook. Really bothers me when people shoot off the cuff. And I happen to know from experience that your job is not as easy as it looks like. You not only have local laws, rules, and guidelines, you have county, you have state, and you have federal law. Those laws do not always mirror each other. And so, you have one law that might trump your law. I spent many years, with state departments trying to mirror state and federal laws for any action. So I want to say thank you. Second comment on what I've heard about grants. Grants, a lot of them are ceasing to exist. And last time I checked, I think you had to have a certain amount of a bill in order to be eligible for a lot of these grants. And at that time, and I don't know about now, but Eldon still did not reach that in order to be eligible to receive grants. So anyway, once again, I just want to say thank you.
Other questions, concerns, thoughts? Okay.
What's the estimated length of this current boil order?
You're gonna put us on the spot, so.
Best case scenario is Tuesday.
Best case
Best case scenario is Tuesday, a week from today.
Let's hope for that.
Boil.
Anyway, possible.
That's a big tax.
Well, interest on because
The matches.
if, instead of, I know nobody wants to hear it, and everybody wants to replace anybody that says, we're raising your taxes, and I understand that. If, for how many homes she said that we had here in Eldon and that, if you present it to the people that we are not gonna raise your taxes, we're not gonna raise your water, this and that, and give it to them in a proposal as if
each household wanted to donate $5 a month toward the construction of getting all this done, that would bring this township to $120,000.
And you did that at the place you lived at before, correct? Someone-
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
And then once that's all paid down in that, because grants can, whatever you can't get in a grant or a loan, you can take that money, pay the loan, plus pay that additional onto the interest and knock off that loan.
Did you
And
say
get everything done a lot easier.
120? What was the figure you spoke?
Oh, if there was, say, 2,000 homes in Eldon, and the people wanted, because the community's gotta get better, and we understand this is a problem from way back that just happened to stop right here before it can't go no farther. And but people, you'd be surprised how many people would be willing to give that $5 and because that $5 would mean $60 per year to that homeowner. But in return, what they could save off loan interest and getting the debts paid off and the construction done, it's gonna save this community a lot more in that effort. And you'd be amazed at how many people would probably step up.
How did you do that before when you were there? And I've asked you this question, but I want everybody to hear it. It was just it was on your bill as a donation piece? Where you lived before, was it on your bill as a donation? Or how did that work? Did they?
Yeah, it would, the way they did it was, it's like when we were the same way. Our sewer, garbage and everything came together. The only thing is we had wells, so the problem was the sewer and that had to be replaced and that. But what they did is just on that bill, the $5 extra, everybody would have a form. You sent them a form with the first time what you're doing, and they would just check it, yes, they would $5 or whatever and that. And then they just added that onto the bill and that. And then once everything was done, paid off and that, it was taken back off.
And it can only be used specifically for
right.
that.
It would, yeah, that donation part would be, yeah.
So what was your town able to do with $120,000 for the year? What was you able to repair?
Well, no, what I'm saying is you might have to get less grants, or because of the situation we're in, now the township is forced to start raising everybody's taxes or whatever in that. Because I know a large part of Eldon and that is elderly. Once you hit a certain point, you have your taxes frozen.
We also don't have a property tax mechanism anymore either, which is.
No, but the thing about it is, it helps you to put that money toward what we have to pay back, or toward the construction, or anything else. That money goes back into getting the system done faster with a lower burden to everybody else.
I remember my last comment, you just reminded me of it. I'm old as dirt, and so prior to, I think, early 90s, mid-90s, Eldon had property taxes, a car tax, all these things that gave the city, a dedicated stream of money that was easier to rely on and count for, versus the sales tax that we now do, which is fluctuating year after year, and it's hard to determine what you do when you do not have. So, hindsight's always better than foresight, and so Eldon, it may have been a little easier to be saving for these things along than it is to come up with the money now. So, just a little bit of history on how that.
Trevor, I was gonna say, we talked last time, we said we're growing, right? And new homes is what's putting this system in capacity. I really, and I do this in many states, but every new construction permit we pull, there's a fee on there called city development or city fee, and every builder pays it as a new construction, because now we're adding to the existing sewer system, existing electrical system, and all that. So it's part of the fee, it's right there in the permit.
Yeah, that may be something to look at too. Yeah.
I would like to kind of expand on this. I've talked to Alderman Walker about impact fees. Something that the city currently doesn't utilize is impact fees. And typically how impact fees are used for schools, EMS, fire department, police department. However, impact fees are meant not to replace budget, but to help cities expand with growth. So with the expansion of growth within the city, you know, the police department needs more police stuff, the fire department needs more fire department stuff. So if the city council would adopt the impact fees, it would alleviate some of the pull from your budget on these expansion that these other departments need, and then that could then be utilized in other areas, not to replace current budget, but the strain of the expansion of the different departments and whatnot, and it's only gonna get worse.
Who pays an impact fee?
Impact fees are paid by the developers, so it's kind of, you know, the pay your way. There's different rates for different places. I did the math for Sarah once and sent it to her kind of in a
We've talked about that before, and Pat, the idea is the developer could then pass that cost on in the bill, so they're not necessarily taking the hit, but the city's getting extra money to support the infrastructure growth. So that's when I brought up, when we were talking about the subdivision and the fact that we're not looking at our infrastructure and that we're growing, but we're not looking at growing, we did specifically talk about impact fees.
So for example,
So everybody could hear this.
We've done it on storm sewer. We actually had an engineer doing a study for us on storm water because we've had a huge issue for a long time. It seems to be a little better now until the next one collapses. But we've done studies on for storm water because there's not a mechanism to pay for storm water. It is what it is. When it falls apart, it comes out of capital. There's no other mechanism.
Streets.
so for example, on what I sent Sarah, it was kind of a mid-average in Missouri, split 4 ways. So you have fire department, police department, and then it would leave a quarter for schools and a quarter for the ambulance. But on the half that the city would do, a quarter to the fire department, a quarter to the police department, the impact fee was somewhere around $13,000. So $6,500 for the fire department, $6,500 for the police department, and so do the math on a subdivision. I mean that's a significant amount of money that then those two departments can use to grow, rather than pulling more and more money out of, you know, the normal budget to help those departments. So it would alleviate strain elsewhere while helping the other departments grow as well. So it ends up being passed on to the end consumer, but you know, $13,000 on a $250,000 home over 30 years, you know, it's not a major deal.
So
Typically, I see 1%.
also, that's something when Ryan brought up having the plan that we want to pay for, the overall plan that we want to pay for next year in the budget, to do a citywide plan and figure out, that's something we asked for them to look at, was what the effect of the impact fee or the development fee would be, along with the study of what else we need.
I have one question. I know.
You got 2 minutes, Tim,
No
because
one
we're trying
wants
to
to
get out
think
of
about
here.
this, if we do have to go with the system-wide coordination system, what is the realistic timeline? I know you mentioned about extension, 30 days to 60, but I mean, this would take like months or a year to complete?
So rural water does this with other places. So we're gonna rely on rural water like crazy because we don't know. We're not doing this, and maybe we go quite a bit too. Because we're just not.
Yeah, because we're not,
We're not expertise on that.
we're not equipped for that right now, anyway, correct?
I have no clue.
Goes directly into the system.
Some come directly into the system, some come in the cars. It would all have to be redesigned and engineered, so there would be extensions we would have, of course. First thing we gotta do is get chlorination and get it passed and get back on the board, and then evaluate from there, see what quality it needs.
Let's see what we have to do first, that's the first thing, and then once we get past the half, then we figure out the best decision.
I think right now, it's a hurry up and wait game, you gotta get us back on board, but then we need to see what DNR says and what the regs say and plan.
And we know we've got to get better regardless of what that looks like. Okay, anything else that is evolutionary? Not. Anything else? Okay, anyone that spoke, if they wouldn't mind signing up on the sign-up sheet, that would be great. So we've got, in case we've got questions or anything. Otherwise, there's a motion to adjourn. Second, all in favor?